Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
It's time for our TOEIC lesson today. You all know what that is. And today we're going to be talking about getting a promotion. And in this particular case, it's an internal promotion.
It means you get promoted within the company you're working for. You don't have to leave your company to get a higher ranking job, you could say.
Okay, well, I've always been involved with education and broadcasting and stuff like that, so promotions don't really happen that often.
We don't get promoted, do we?
Yeah, we just do our work and that's about it.
Sometimes if we're lucky, we get a raise, but yeah.
You might get assigned to lead a project or something like that, but for the most part, we just are given the job by someone else. That's what working freelance is all about. But of course, we do know that many of you are working in big companies and you want to climb the corporate ladder. And one way to do that is to get one promotion after another. But of course, you've got competition with your coworkers and your colleagues. They think they deserve that promotion. And when you get that promotion, they're not going to be happy about it. Why does he get the promotion? He started here much later than I did. I've been working harder. I've been working overtime all the time, and he doesn't do anything. So, yeah, you might hear stuff like that behind your back. I'm sure you have working in corporate America before.
Yeah. Actually, my last job, I was the one promoting other people. It's tough. It's tough because there's some competition. Not everybody wants to be promoted. Not everybody wants more and more responsibility. They would like more money, a better salary, but some people really don't want to be managers. So not everybody wants to be promoted. Right now, we're going to go through our dialogue. We've got a Philip, who is the guy, and Elaine. I will be Elaine. And then we'll be discussing some of these words. And then we'll go on to talk about our extra dialogues. But first, let's go through our dialogue, Tom, shall we?
We shall. Hi, Elaine. I'd like to apply for that open sales manager position.
No problem, Philip. What's your availability for an interview?
I guess I'm free anytime. Will it be a long interview?
Our job interviews usually take about an hour.
Well, I already work here, so I know about the company and its products. I just assumed it would be quicker.
We have to treat all the applicants in the same way. Do you have your resume for me?
Do I need one? After all, I've been working here for 3 years now.
That may be the case, but I've never been your manager. I still need to see your resume.
Oh, okay. I'll email one to you later today. Later that day. Hi, Elaine. Do you have a minute? I'd like to talk to you about the open sales manager position.
Sure, Julian. Are you considering applying for the post?
Yes, I've talked to both my current manager and HR, and they believe that I'd be a good fit for the role. I've applied online through the company website, but I also wanted to give you a copy of my resume.
Thank you very much for that, Julian. When are you available for an interview?
I'm usually less busy in the afternoon, but I could reschedule some of my meetings in order to make things more convenient for you if necessary.
Thanks, Julian. I'll be in touch. Okay, guys, we just listened to a couple of conversations. The first one was between Philip and Elaine. And I don't know about you, Tom, but I think Philip has a bad attitude.
Yeah, his attitude could use some modification, whereas Julian seems to be responsible, but he might be a little bit of a brown-noser, and we'll kind of deal with that as we talk about our lesson for today. But again, the title is Who Gets the Internal Promotion? And as you said before, this is a promotion within the company, and a promotion, of course, is when you get a better position in the company, more responsibility, responsibility and more pay. And internal can mean a couple of things. Inside something, like your internal organs inside your body. But in this particular case, it's referring to being inside the company.
Yeah. You were saying if you get a promotion, you also get a higher salary. So we've got Philip here. He says he wants to apply for that open sales manager position. If you apply for something, especially for a job, it means you fill out a form, you usually attach your resume, and you send it to the people who are responsible for scheduling interviews. So he wants to apply. And he's talking to Elaine, who is obviously the one who's maybe doing the hiring. She's definitely doing the interviewing.
So there must have been some memo circulating in the office, or maybe the company newsletter mentioned a position open. This particular position is the sales manager position. It's open, and Elaine says, well, no problem. You can apply for that position. And then she asks him a question. What's your availability for an interview? Here the word availability is a noun. It just refers to how available you are. Available is kind of a difficult word. I was teaching a group of 7th graders last year, and this word came up, and boy, they were stumped. What the heck does that mean? Are you available? Are you available next Saturday, for example?
Do you have
just
time?
Means, do you have time then? Are you free then? So, when are you free for an interview? When can we have an interview?
Yeah. So instead of saying what's your availability, you could just say when are you available for an interview. That's probably a little easier for you guys. But remember, availability is the noun. Philip goes, well, I guess I'm free anytime. Will it be a long interview? That's an interesting question. When he asked that, I thought, why is he asking that? Does that matter? She says our job interviews usually take about an hour, which is, I think, pretty common for an interview,
about
an
right.
hour.
Yeah.
Sometimes I did a lot of interviewing in New York, and sometimes it was a little less. I don't think I ever went over an hour.
I guess if you found the right person, it will be longer. If you know this person is not suitable, you kind of say, well, thank you for coming. The door's over there.
No, you don't.
You wouldn't be that rude, I'm imagining. But in any case here, yes, he says that he's free anytime, but is it going to be long? So he sounds like he's being kind of impatient. And this one's going to take about an hour. And he says, well, I already work here, so I know about the company and its products. I just assumed it would be quicker. Now, if you assume something, that just means you think something is the case based on previous experience or other information that you have. Sometimes it can be good to make assumptions. Sometimes it can be bad. Sometimes people assume the wrong thing. Well, I just assumed you'd want to eat a hamburger because you're American. I happen to hate hamburgers. You should have asked me first.
I'm a vegetarian.
Or something like that. Oh, you're Chinese. I just assumed you knew how to speak Mandarin. I don't speak Mandarin. I'm an American Chinese. I didn't learn Mandarin. I learned Taiwanese. So there.
So there you go. So I think it's a little rude when he said, I assumed it would be quicker. By that, he's kind of saying, hey, what's the big deal? Look at me. What do you need to talk to me? Why do you need to interview me? Just hire me. I'm perfect. I get sort of a bad attitude there. And Elaine responds by saying we have to treat all the applicants in the same way. And then she asks for his resume. Do you have your resume for me? An applicant is someone who is applying for something. You notice that the word apply is somewhere in that word applicant. So the applicant is the person. A resume, and notice we have those little weird marks over the E and in the middle and at the end. A resume is actually a French word. And if you don't have those little accent marks over the E, then we might read it as resume, which means to continue after stopping something. So be careful to add those. If you're typing, typically the Word document will add those little accents for you.
Yes, indeed. And resume is the word we use in the United States. And if you're talking to a British person or in different countries, they'll probably say CV, which is the same thing. But also people have told me, no, they're not the same thing.
No, they're not quite. Yeah. CV is also used in the States, but in only like teaching industry. I know my friend's a professor. A CV they'll list all of the papers they've published. So if you're in the education industry, for example, you are a college professor, they'll have CVs. Or if you're a scientist, they'll have CVs. But for business, we have resumes.
For most of us, right. You even get a resume if you're applying for your first job as a dishwasher or something. It's probably a good idea to show your experience. Sometimes it can be quite competitive to get a job as a dishwasher because you're working by yourself. It's independent. And when you're washing the dishes, you can be listening to music and stuff like that. And so no one will bother you.
It's not a bad gig, actually.
Yeah, actually, I wouldn't mind being a dishwasher.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to talk to anybody. You would love it. I know.
I was a dishwasher before. It was actually a lot of fun. But you can't have a career as a dishwasher, though. But in this particular case, Philip is interested in the position of sales manager. But he seems put off here. Gee, is the interview going to be long? Do I really have to apply for this position?
Oh, what a hassle. Huh.
Yeah, do I have to give you my resume? Do I really need one? He says, after all, I've been working here for 3 years now. Why would I need to give you a resume? I should know everything I need to know. You should just give me the job without saying anything.
That's what I thought. She says that may be the case. That might be true. That may be true, dude. But I've never been your manager. Only your manager has access to your resume, typically in a company, because some of that stuff's private. She said, I still need to see your resume. And then her response is, okay, I'll email one to you later today. He doesn't have the manners, I would say, the politeness in him to actually walk a real one in his hand over to her.
Exactly, right. It's probably something you should present in person.
Sure.
And so he does seem kind of to be a pompous little slug here. So I'm pretty sure that she's probably already decided that you are not going to get the promotion.
Okay, what's a slug, Tom?
Oh, actually a slug, I think it's a 阔语 in Chinese.
And if you're pompous, you're very arrogant or 骄傲. So there you go.
There you go. A pompous little slug. That's some way you could insult somebody if you want to. But in any case here, we're going to talk about the other person who seems to be more qualified, Julian. This is happening later that day. Julian is also interested in the open sales manager position. He says, hi, Elaine. Do you have a minute? I'd like to talk to you about that position. So he sounds more professional here. He's asking her if she has time to talk. Philip just kind of said, I want to apply for that sales manager position. But here Julian is more polite. Do you have a minute?
Yeah.
I'd like to talk to you about that open sales manager position.
And she responds differently. Notice she goes, sure, Julian. Oh, are you considering applying for the post? The post is another word to talk about a job. And usually we'll talk about the post when the job is open, right? Oh, are you looking into applying for that post or that job position? He says, yes, I've talked to both my current manager, the manager he has now. Current just means what's happening right now. And HR, or human resources. And they believe that I'd be a good fit for the role. If you're a good fit, it just means, you just would actually do well because you seem to have the qualities they're looking for. You're a good fit.
You're suitable.
Yeah.
It's good for you. You'd be a good fit. And so he says, I've applied online through the company website, but I also wanted to give you a copy of my resume. Hey, this guy knows how to do things here. He's going to give her his resume in person. He did apply online for the position on the company website, which will save her some time. So my goodness, this guy is very professional, very efficient here. I would give him the position right away if I were Elaine. But again, she needs to spend equal time with each applicant, as she said earlier. We need to treat all the applicants in the same way.
Yeah, I don't even think Philip had applied online. So by the time Julian comes up to to Elaine. He's already applied, on the website. And he wants to give her a copy in person, which means face-to-face. So Elaine thanks him for that. She said, when are you available for an interview? Notice here we're using the same question, but using the adjective here. When are you available instead of what's your availability? They mean exactly the same thing. Just choose one and practice that. So Jillian says, I'm usually less busy in the afternoon, but listen to how accommodating he is. But I could reschedule some of my meetings in order to make things more convenient for you, if necessary. So he's willing to go out of his way to reschedule meetings, which is a pain. I hate that. It's a hassle, a pain. Just for her, just to make life easier for her. So he really is a good guy. If you reschedule something, of course, you change the date or the appointment that you've already scheduled to another time.
Indeed. Maybe he's being too accommodating here.
You think?
Maybe he's bending over backwards too much here. I don't know. It's possible. I mean, it is possible sometimes for us to kind of brown nose too much, and then people might take advantage of us. Hey, I'll give you the promotion, but you're going to get a reduction in pay. Oh, no problem. Thank you for that. Yeah, at some point you do have to kind of be a little more assertive. But in any case here, he is going to reschedule some of his meetings so they can have this meeting. And Elaine is very appreciative. She says, thanks, Julian. I'll be in touch. To be in touch means to stay in contact. You could also say, hey, let's keep in touch. We're going to graduate from high school, and we should probably try to keep in touch. Let's write to each other, give each other calls once in a while. People always say that, but it seems that they seldom actually do that.
Oh, with your best friends you do. Or, let's stay in touch. Let's keep in touch. Don't be a stranger is sometimes a phrase we'll say when we just want to say, hey, don't forget about me. Keep calling, keep in touch like that. Right now, guys, it's time for a Chinese teacher. We're going to listen for a while, and then we'll be back with our extra dialogues and a couple of questions.
Hi everyone, my name is Jenny. 今天我们看的是第7单元。好，这个绘画的内容呢，和职场上内部升迁有关系。这里 internal promotion， 我们知道 promotion 就是代表升迁晋升。你要得到内部的晋升，那你应该注意什么呢？我们来看一下今天这个对话内容的主角。一位是 Philip， 那 Philip 呢，他碰到了 Elaine， 所以他提到说他想要来应征公司里头的一个销售经理的职位。好，这个销售经理的职位目前呢是有空缺的，他用到了这个字 open。 我们知道说一个场地的开放是 open， 这个职缺的开放也是 open， 所以说要表示这个销售经理目前是一个空缺的职位。好，我们来看，那 Elaine 的回答当然是说，有时间来接受 interview 吗？来接受面试吗？那提到了时间 interview， 其实即使是内部人员，时间上都需要1个小时哦。好，那 Philip 的态度，我们来看一下，他说，I already work here。已经工作在这里一段时间了。那他的心理想法，就像他这句里面说的I just assumed it would be quicker. Assumed 这个字就是认为、认定，而且这里用过去式哦，所以表示他原以为、原先认定的是时间不会这么长，会快一点。好，注意到其实有时候我们在英文里面，你讲I think 跟 I thought 是不同的。I think 当然就是你现在要表达你的看法，可是如果你说的是 I thought， 你用过去式来写这个动词的话，那意思就是原本以为，原本的想法是什么。一样的，在这里 I assumed 这个用过去式，所以意思就是他在这之前本来是怎么样想的。好，我们再来往下读。下面呢，当然 Elaine 就解释了，不管是谁来应征，我们对待他们的看法跟方式是一样的哦。而且他还问到有没有一份 resume， 他希望 Philip 给他一份他的履历表。可是 Philip 的态度呢，他说到 哦，我需要吗？ After all, I have been working here for 3 years now. 我们知道这个时态上有表达出他目前是在工作状态，他还在这里，而他目前他已经工作3年了，所以他的时态用的是完成加进行。好，看到现在完成进行式 have been B-E-N 然后再加 V-I-N-G， 这表示说说话的当时其实他人还在这里工作。好，接下来 Elaine 她的态度呢也是很清楚的。虽然说你的确在这里一段时间，可是我没有当过你的经理，当然我还是必须看你的履历表，所以他就 Philip 告诉好，那我会寄给你。OK， 这是第一位。那往下面还有另外一位，这个对话主角变成了 Julian。 好，我们看到 Julian 的态度又是如何呢？他一样的碰到了 Elaine， 他希望跟他谈有关于这个空缺的销售经理的职位。那 Elaine 一样的，他说 Are you considering applying for the post？ 好，注意到这句话当然是说你也在考虑应征这个职位吗？ Consider 这个动词它后面呢，如果是加受词，它意思表示认为什么事情，它的动作必须要改成 V-I-N-G， 你在考虑做某件事。好，看到了 applying 的 I-N-G， 一定要提醒自己 consider 当认为后面加受词，动词加 V-I-N-G。 再往下读，下面呢 Julian 就说的确他已经跟他现在的经理还有 HR 也就是人力资源部门都谈过了。我们知道 HR 代表的就是 Human Resources 人力资源，那他觉得自己很适合，所以他当然才会来应征，而且他还做过功课哦，然后他也准备好他的 resume 他的履历表了。好，从这一点当然大家可以看得出来，跟前面那位 Philip 是截然不同的。好，那再接下来 Elaine 当然也希望说他能够来参加面试，所以 Julian 就告诉他他其实时间上下午是比较不忙，可是他还提到如果有必要的话If necessary， 我们知道 if necessary 这个其实是一个省略的句构当你本来是一个子句有一个 if， 然后主词、动词，然后补语这样子的完整结构，如果说你把它省略掉主词、省略掉动词，只保留补语，那这种省略句型其实我们常看到，我们有时候就把它当做一个片语来背，比如说像这里的If necessary 就是其中一个，当然有时候我们会看到 if possible, when necessary, if so, if not， 这都是同样的类似的省略句型。好，那他提到假如有必要，我还可以 reschedule some of my meetings。 这个 reschedule 当然是重新安排我的时间表，调整一下，可以来进行我们的面谈。好咯，这边对话结束，但是从两位应征者的态度，也许你心里已经有底了，可能谁比较容易获得这个职位呢？ OK， 我们下次见。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. We're going to continue with our extra dialogues now. And also, we've got a discussion question related to today's topic, getting an internal promotion. So, the first conversation involves Julian here. Julian's B, and Julian's a boy. So, I'll be B, and you be A.
Okay, I will. So, Julian, why are you applying for the sales manager position?
Well, I believe I can contribute a lot more to this company, and I'm ready for the extra responsibility.
Sounds like he is ready for the job. When you get promoted, you almost always have more responsibility. So you need to think about that before you apply in case you're not really ready for that. So he thinks he can contribute a lot more to the company, do a lot more, be more valuable as a player in that company. So it sounds like he really is ready to apply.
And he does seem to have answered the question correctly. I guess this is what you should say when somebody asks you this question.
Okay, yeah.
I can contribute a lot more. I've contributed a lot in the past, but hey, I'm talented. I know more things about the company than I did when I started, so I can make more contributions and improve the performance of this company, and everybody can benefit as a result. Well, let's see. Let's say the interviewer has another question for the interviewee.
Yeah, here it goes. Can I contact your current manager for a reference?
Of course. I've already asked Graham, and he's given me permission to use him as a reference.
I find this question a little weird because they work for the same company.
Yeah.
You don't even have to ask for permission. You just contact the other manager. And if you don't want the new person to contact your manager, why are you applying?
Exactly. Yeah. And, of course, you can't say, no, you can't contact my current manager.
They don't like me.
Yeah, because he'll tell you all about the time I embezzled a bunch of money.
Which means stole money from your company.
Exactly. Or how I was staying late in the office and just to use the free internet service so I wouldn't have to pay for it at home. Stuff like that.
Oh, I came in one weekend, I'm not kidding, to my office. It was Saturday. Most people don't work Saturday. And there was somebody in my group that was working there, and he was printing out porn.
Ooh.
Yeah, with the printer. Yeah, he got fired. So, yeah, don't do those stupid things.
Yeah, sometimes a lot of people think the bosses and the managers are stupider than they really are.
There's not really a word stupider, though.
Yeah, I couldn't think. Is it more stupid?
More
I'm
stupid.
Not quite sure. But yeah, don't underestimate your managers. They know a lot more than you think they do. But in any case here, this is polite here. Can I contact your manager for reference? Of course. And he's already got himself a reference. He's talked to Graham, and Graham said, yes, you can use me as a reference if you need.
Here's the next dialogue. Hey, Philip, did you end up getting that sales manager job?
No, I didn't prepare for it enough, but I've learned my lesson. I'll get it next time.
I don't know. Unless he changes his attitude, who knows if he'll ever get promoted. So he didn't get the job. It didn't surprise me. Did it surprise you, Tom?
No, actually, I think Julian probably got the position. But here, he probably was a little bit conceited here, maybe overconfident. Yeah. And so he went in there thinking that he was going to get the job.
Okay, we've got one more discussion question to get to here, Tom. Do you think it's easy to get an internal promotion for a job with your own company? Explain and answer.
No, I don't think it's easy. I think it's pretty hard because you have to compete with other people. Okay, I've explained my answer. How about you?
Sometimes it's better if you try to get a promotion outside your company. But yeah, I do think it's easier. If you're a good worker, if you're not a good worker, guys, you're not going to get promoted within your company, and it's best if you try somewhere else. That's
it might even be favorable to get a demotion, and then you can work in the mail room, and then you won't have people staring down your neck all the time, expecting you to perform. All you got to do is just deliver the mail, and that's it.
Tom, that's a terrible piece of advice. Guys, thanks for joining us. It's time for us to go. For English Digest, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Tom. Goodbye.
Bye.